Well, welcome. My name is Keith Hensley, and this is a webinar for managing your contacts in Matrix. Today, we will go through, spend the next 55 minutes on managing your contacts within Matrix. I will be recording this session today, and then later on today, I'll email this to you. So that way, if you need to review it or share it with someone that you might think might be interested in this. And plus, when I do email to you, if you have questions, you can always reply to me and let me know what those questions are. And we do have more Matrix webinars this week, 2 more this week. And we've been trying to do these once a month. Last month, April was our first month, and this is May. So this is our second month of doing these webinars. So hopefully you're enjoying them, and hopefully we can pass the word around and get more people to start taking these webinars here. So my name is Keith Hensley, coming from Dayton, Ohio today. So let's go and get started. I'm going to close this down. And what you should be seeing now is the Matrix system, your Williamsburg multiple listing service here in Matrix. And we're going to go through and just show you start to finish, start to finish to getting your new contacts, working with them, saving searches, emailing them, auto emailing them, how they see their portal, because as you email listings to them, they're going to be able to see their portals here and stuff. So I thought in this news and alerts section, I'm going to have to look into it, but on my news and alerts here in Matrix, on the Matrix homepage, I'm not seeing any new messages here. So I'm kind of curious if you're seeing any messages, because this is one place where we should be advertising these webinars to get more people attend them and stuff, and so that way when you log in you could see them, but I don't see them listed here. So so I'll check into it, but it could just be my setting also, where your settings where you might be seeing the news and alert messages and I'm not seeing them just because I'm not a member. I'm at a higher access level, so I'll look into that there. But so probably the first thing I want to get started is let's start from the beginning with a new client. And we could say, let's say that, I've got a new client I want to start working with. I usually start with someone who wants to buy a house, but we could also do a seller too. So right now, I'm just going to use a person named Janelle, a friend of mine, Janelle, and I'm just going to practice and pretend that she's a client and she's looking to buy a house. So probably one of the first things I might want to do is go up to my Matrix here and add her as a contact. And I also want to take this moment here that, yeah, you see a lot of tabs up here and it might get overwhelming, especially if you're a newer member and you're looking at it and you're thinking, wow, this is just so much to learn about Matrix here. Well, if I break it down a little bit, hopefully this will help you understand Matrix a little better. Of all these tabs, there's really 3 tabs that are really fundamental, the basics of Matrix. The 3 tabs are first your home page, because this is where you land at. As soon as you log in, you see this this page here, and it's got these little widgets you can move around and play with, and little shortcuts within the system, if you will. It's like your car. When you turn your car on, you got the dashboard. You got how much gas you got, how fast you're going, what gear you got it in, and things like that. And it's always a good starting point. Second tab is search, and the third tab is my Matrix. Those 3 tabs are the most important tabs in Matrix. It's probably where you spend 80, 85, 90%. Some of you might spend 100% of your time in one of those 3 tabs. Outside of those 3 tabs, the only other one I can think might be valuable is the input tab, and that input tab is only as good as if you're adding a listing or modifying, changing a status of a listing or adding pictures to it. That's your 4th tab. But if you just keep in mind that home, search, my Matrix, if you focus on those 3 and you really get to know those and learn those 3 tabs, you'll be able to do just about anything you want in Matrix. Okay, so focus on those 3. Search is where you do things. So here in a moment, I'm going to do a search for my client, Janelle, and you'll see the property types you can search for. My Matrix is where you find the things that you did. It's where I find my contact, Janelle, and the things I've done for her, but it's also where I find the auto emails and save searches. Every email Matrix ever sent out here, reverse prospecting email history. I might be able to incorporate this into today's webinar also, reverse prospect email history, and at least maybe kind of mention it maybe near the end of the webinar today. It's where you find your CMAs. We have a dedicated CMA program, so I don't really want to spend too much time going through a CMA today, and I could maybe show you, a short version of it if we have time. But it's where you find your information, find your carts. I definitely want to show you carts at the end of this webinar on contacts, because I think the cart system, and you can see a widget here on carts also, the carts I think is a terrific feature to use for your contacts, whether you're buying a house or selling a house. So we'll cover that one near the end of it. So if you just know those 3 tabs, that's always a good foundation to any of my webinars there. So if I have a new contact, the first thing I want to do is add that contact to my contact list, okay? And this is assuming you're going to be working with someone. I'm sure we all get people calling us or emailing us that say, hey, can you send me some listings? And they may not necessarily be a contact yet, because you just don't really know them, they don't know you. But once you know for sure you're going to do some work for this person, I would go into your contacts, and then here's my active contacts, but I'm going to add a brand new client right here. Just hit the add button. When I go in, you'll notice the 3 required fields here. First name, last name, and an email address. They have to have all 3 here. So the first name, I'm just going to type in Janelle's name. Last name, Maxwell. You can see I've used her before. And then an email address. I can type in one email address or multiple email addresses in here. Just put a comma in between them. So in here, now since this is a practice or not a real client, I mean, she's a real person, she's a real friend of mine, but I don't want to actually send her stuff. So since I'm demoing this, I don't have access to her email address to show you what it looks like. So I'm going to use one of my other email addresses, my Yahoo email address. So that way, as I email her stuff, I can pretend that I'm her and log into my Yahoo. In fact, you can see my Yahoo tab up here already. So I'm just going to use this to practice on. So there's the salutation. I can change it to hi Janelle, hello Janelle, or dear, or even enter my own custom salutation there. I can categorize her here. And this is kind of a neat thing to mention also. Right now, the way it's set up, she can either be a buyer or a seller or a friend or a prospect. And I'm not sure if you have all 4 of those options there. But you'll notice that you can only categorize a contact as one or the other or the other. But you can customize and add your own categories here. And when I do that, since they can only be one or the other, I'm going to create a new one called buyer/seller. So that way someone could be both. And I'm going to say Janelle is both. She's a buyer and a seller, where some people might just be one or the other. I really wish you could pick multiple, categorize your contacts into multiple ones, so that way you don't really have to go in and create a special one that's combined like this, but it is that way. And to be honest, not a lot of people categorize their contacts, but I'm just going to show that off to you today, so because you can do that. And if she was a doctor or a minister or something like that, I could always put a title for her here. And I could put phone numbers and cell phone numbers in here too. I can enable the reverse prospecting, and that's what was under that My Matrix tab, was reverse prospecting. So I'm going to leave it checkmarked and show you how it can be used. Okay, so I'm going to leave that enabled there. And you can also see show all fields right here. So if I click on show all fields, there's more stuff in here that I can type in, her address, her business address, street address, notes, and stuff like that. You'll notice that a couple extra fields came up here. Additional names pop in. So I think this would be a good place to type in kids' names, pet names. If she was married, yes, I could put her spouse's name in here, but I like to put spouses' names together in the first name field. Additional names, like I just said, would be for kids or pets or things like that. And website address, I don't see much use for this, except for if they were an appraiser or a lender or just someone who I work with on a business level, not as a contact level, because most contacts don't really have a website. And if they do, then I don't really use it too much, or would use it too much, but that's just there. And I can say, yes, she's pre-approved too. And I'll show you where that pops in, that she's pre-approved. After that, home address, I think I already talked about. So I'm gonna go ahead and save this here. Okay, so now she's in here. And just remember, feel free to type in questions. You have that question box there. So as I go through this, just let me know what your questions are, since there's not too many people on this webinar. What else you can do here after I add Janelle? Well, up here, you can notice I can choose a filter. I just want to see those that have an active auto email. Hopefully you know what an auto email is, but I will talk about it again as we get closer, because auto emails is probably your best friend if you don't know that already. But I'll talk about those again as we get closer to doing one for her. Without an active auto email, those who have no auto emails, those who have visited the portal, not visited the portal. And you'll see Janelle's portal here, but what a portal is just a website for her that as I email her stuff, everything is stored on Janelle's portal. So that way she has everything in one location. So that way I can see if she's looking at her portal or if she's not, because you can email people all the time, but if they don't look at their portal, that means they're not really interested, because they've never been there to look at stuff that you sent them. Unless they're a seller. If they're a seller, they probably don't really need that portal. It can still be used for sellers, but buyers mainly are the ones that really need their portal. If there's someone I've worked with or not, or have saved searches, or in a certain category. Remember, I made her a buyer/seller. So if I change this to a category, then what category was it? Was it the buyer sellers? So she's the only one I made that's in that category called buyer/seller. So I'm just gonna go back and change that. And then if I had a long list of like hundreds of people here, if I come in here, I can just type in, RAY, and all the people with an RAY, either in their first, last name, or even in their email address. So in here, I could say everyone who has a Yahoo email address, which all my clients do, okay? So, so the search feature is really cool. Just remember, it searches both email or first or last name box here, okay? So you got add. Now you can pick a client here. Let me pick Ray and Patricia here. If I can check them, I can make them inactive. So let's say Ray and Patricia bought a house. Well, I don't want them to be in my active contact list, so I'm going to set them as inactive. When I do that, now they're gone, because now I'm only looking at those that are active. But if you look over here, I'm showing the 4 active ones, but I can show all 5, all my contacts, or just the 1 inactive ones. So this is a way to kind of filter or even clean up your contacts that you're working with. You can show all 5, and you notice the ones that are inactive are somewhat grayed out, but they're still there. And of course, I can always pick that person and delete them too, if I want. I don't personally like to delete people. I mean, if this was, if I was actually using this for work, because I'd like to kind of keep my people in there, maybe hide them because they're not actively working with them, but I can just, unless I made a mistake, then I delete them. But I can make him active again if I like. And I'll make them active again. Okay. Now you notice common lists. When I pick them, you notice I couldn't set them as inactive, or I couldn't even delete them. And if you hover over that, you'll notice why. Because it says at least one of the active check contacts has an active auto email. Disable those active auto emails first. So it's telling me that this person's receiving auto emails. If I open this up, you can see they do have an auto email. And if I look at it, it's an active one, or it's been sent out. They just haven't opened it yet. See that there? Client must click the first email's link. So there is an active email. So that's why it's kind of protecting me from accidentally deleting that person or turning them inactive because they have an auto email. Now, what I could do is just click on that auto email, go to settings, and then I could disable it. And once I disable that auto email, now when I go back up here, now I can set them as inactive or delete it. Okay, because that auto email is not active anymore. It's been disabled, been turned off there. Okay, so it's a little safety net, if you will, which I agree with. I like that. I think that's a great one there. You can actually bring contacts in if you have another program, contact program. You can import it from your contact list or export them out and put them into another program. So let's say you're about to leave the business of real estate. Before you leave, you could export your people out so that we can save them. Category My Last Use, last time I used them, and if they've ever visited their portal. Now, these are not real people, so that's why they've never, well, they are real people, real friends of mine, but they've never actually received it there, except for Steve and Rosa. I used it back in April. Here you can see if they saved any listings as a favorite, possibilities, left me notes. I can actually click on that one and see what their note was. There's this house here on Exmoor Court. If I click on that, they said, love this house. And then I replied, then make an offer. So yeah, you'll see how they make notes, and I'll show you how you can manage those and all that good stuff there. And they actually saved it as a favorite, and I emailed it to them here. So this right here is showing me everything they've done. So I could just use the back button here, or I can go up to my matrix contacts and go back to my list. So either one will work. Okay. So this keeps track, and here's the carts. If you put listings in a cart, we can keep track of it here too. Okay. And this reference number is for the reverse prospecting. So if I email, let's say I email your listing to my contact, Steve, you in reverse prospecting, which you'll see later on, you don't see Steve and Rosa's name. All you see is this reference number right here. So then you would reach out to me and say, Keith, I noticed your client 12162 loved my my listing. Can you tell me about it? Can you tell me what's holding this up? Why, do they want to make an offer or what's going on? Then you'll know who it is, and you'll just say, well, yeah, they like it, but I don't know. They're kind of concerned about the carpet and the windows. They kind of need updating a little bit. Well, funny that you say that. We've been thinking about, changing that out if that's holding up the deal, and then we can make a contingency upon that. Let's get the deal done here. So that's kind of what that's for there. And remember when I added Janelle, it said yes, enable auto email or reverse prospecting or not. Well, if I had said no, she wouldn't have had a reference number here because no one could see her show up in reverse prospecting. So it's kind of like that. I like it leaving it on. People are always afraid that it's going to be abused, and people are going to be contacting me left and right all the time about hey, what do you think of this house? What do your client think of that house? And just overwhelmed with. But what I've seen so far across the country is it's very well done how people do this here. Okay. Okay. So that's pretty much this whole area here. Okay. This column right here is if they have any auto emails. So Steve and Rosa does have an active auto email, and this column here is if they have a saved search. Okay. And you'll also notice under My Matrix, auto emails and saved searches here. So here's what an auto email is and a saved search. Hopefully you already know this. So I just want to clarify. When you do a search, no matter what property type you do, And let me click on this real quick. When you do a search, you put your criteria in, price, bedrooms, bathrooms, and you go to results. You have an option down here at the bottom to save this search. And when you save it, you could either save it as a saved search or as an auto email, okay? And you'll notice I can't save it as an auto email because look at the message down below. This search returns too many results, maximum 250, to be saved as an auto email. So let me go and put a price range in here real quick. And now when I do this, I can save it either as a saved search or an auto email. Saved search, you're both, either way you go, you're saving the search. Okay, so I consider them both a saved search. This is really an inactive search, and this is an active search. So if I save it as a saved search, yes, it does save. It'll save the criteria. It'll give it the name that I want it, and I could link it to a client if I want. But if I save it, that's it. It is just there, and I'd have to go back, go to that saved search, find it, and manually run it to see if there's what the current matches are for it. There's no automatic system for it, and there is a need for that. There is a benefit to that there. But in this case, working with a client, I don't think most of us would do that because it takes work on my behalf. I have to log in and run it and see and kind of monitor it and maintain it. Well, the auto email does everything automatically for you. So if I save this as an auto email, now it says, okay, who is it for? Do I want to get a copy of these emails? Because what the auto email does is it runs it based on the time period that you want it to check. Do you want it to check once a day, twice a day, or as soon as possible, or even once a month? And then once it runs it and it finds a new match, a new listing, or a price change, or something that came in that criteria, it automatically sends it to who you want. So it could either automatically send it to your client, Janelle, which most people do. Do you also want to get a copy of this? By the way, you need to give it a name. But look down here. Here's your schedule. ASAP, once a day, twice a day, once a month. Most people will say ASAP, but there's a third option on the delivery mechanism. Instead of it going to Janelle or Janelle and me, you could enable the concierge mode. Kind of curious if anyone's ever done the concierge mode, because in the concierge mode, it means that, and watch my schedule here. When I enable it, the schedule went away. Okay, because you know what? It's not going to email to Janelle first. It's going to alert me first. See right here, Matrix will alert you on your home page automatically as new matches are found. So when it finds a new match based on that search criteria that I just did for Janelle, it's going to show up on my home page, and I get to look at them before Janelle does. So this way, and I can also have the system email me when there's a new alerts. So if I save this, it takes me to my, oh, I gotta give it a name here. I'm just gonna call this one Janelle's search. Now, I don't think that's a good name for this search, but I'm just to save us some time here. I'm gonna save it. It's gonna take us to a list of houses to approve. This search is currently resulting in 84 matches. So before Janelle sees it, see right here, needs your approval. They are not yet visible to her. So before Janelle sees this, I need to pick some listings here and approve them. Once I approve them, boom, they go to Janelle. If I look at these listings, and I can pull up the listing, I can pull up the picture, I can do whatever I need to see which ones I like or don't like. But if I don't think she's gonna like those 3 houses, I can reject them. And now I've rejected those 3 listings. Now there's only 78. So now there's 3 rejected. So on a regular basis, I would look at them. And now it does require work, but it's keeping tabs on this. So if I reject them, that rejected list keeps growing and growing. And as long as those 6 rejected remain in her search criteria, I can always go back to those 6 listings and unreject them, because maybe I rejected them because she didn't. She told me, based on what she told me, I don't think she'll like them. But then she changes her mind later. I can go back. Well, since you changed your mind, you know what? Now you might like some of these listings out there. So I hope that makes sense on the concierge. It does take extra time, but I can do a much more thorough job watching these listings for Janelle. And then when I go to my home page, every time I log in, I have this little widget up here called Concierge. And now I can see, here's all the listings waiting for my approval. Now, 84 listings was a lot of results. Sorry, my headset was coming on. So 84 was a lot. Hopefully you would narrow down your search a little more, but I go through, but like I said, it does take that work. I need to go through this and see which ones I think she'll like or not like. If I would have just saved it as an auto email and said, hey, send it to her, as soon as you get, let her go through this list of properties and let her decide what she likes. That's probably the best way to do this. But the auto email is a really cool feature that you could turn on to do this here. Okay, so that's the concierge. Now I'm going to do an auto email again. So that's the difference. An auto email and save search. Save searches, they're here, but they don't automatically run. I have to click on it and hit results to see how many new matches are out there based on that search criteria. Whereas the auto emails, these are all actively running for Steve and Rosa or Janelle or Tom and Liz. And I'll explain these color codes here in a second here. These are actively processing, okay? So that's the difference there. So let's do another auto email for her, okay? Since that was just kind of a quick walkthrough and I wanted to demonstrate the concierge mode. Let's go through that again. So once you've got your contact in your system, once your contact's there, and by the way, you don't have to put Janelle in here first. What you could do is, before I put Janelle in my contact list, I could have done my search for her first. I could say, well, I'm going to come in here and do a search for Janelle. She wants an active listing. She wants a fee simple. She wants a detached property. She wants something in Williamsburg area. And if you keep your eye down here on the matches, on the counts, this is live. So as I change this to James City County, 326, New Kent, 37, go to York, 84. So hopefully you've always known that number down there. So then if I come in here and I type in, price range, 3 matches, let's just see what those 27 are, because I don't really know that area. So let's look at the price range. And once you see the 27 houses, you notice you can click on the header called list price and sort them. So it looks like the 500,000 range. So let's do a price of 500 to 600. Got 7 matches here. And of course, I could do 3 bedrooms or more. I can do all kinds of stuff. Master bedroom on the first floor. Now I'm down to 4. So as you can see, the more criteria I put in here, the less results I get. As I take out criteria, the more matches I get. So less is more and more is less. So I'll leave it at that, 7 matches. I think that's pretty good. So as I go to results, here they are. So as you can see, you can go back and forth. You can even map them, see where these 7 listings are mapped at. But once you're satisfied with this search, now you're going to want to save it as a saved search or as an auto email. And here's the question, what are you saving? Are you saving these 7 houses, or are you saving the search criteria that produces 7 houses? Well, this is what you're saving. You're saving the search criteria. So at this moment, there are 7 listings that match that criteria. But tomorrow, next week, next month, I don't know how many listings are going to match this, but at this moment, that's the 7 matches. So if I say this is an auto email and she looks at this search right away that I send her, she's going to see 7 houses. But if she waits a week before she opens that auto email and looks at it, now there's might be, 8 or 9 matches. Could be 6. Something could have changed. Could be still 7. Could be 6 of them, but one of them here could be gone, but a new one could be on here. So it just depends on when she looks at it. So I'm going to save it as an auto email, and it's for Janelle. And the reason why I said I didn't have to add Janelle to my contact list first, because if I didn't, I could still add Janelle right now. I can go in here and type in Janelle's name and address and email address, okay? So I didn't have to put her in first, but I did. So she's here, so I'm gonna pick her name. There's her email address. I'm gonna blind carbon copy me too. Message. Now, since I know this is for Janelle and I know it's in Williamsburg, this is how I like to save searches. I like to call it, the area that I've saved it for, Williamsburg. I like to put in the price range that I did, which was 500-600. And I also said 3+ beds. Oops. 3+ beds. The reason why I do this is because, one, I know it's for Janelle. She knows it's for her because she's getting it. So I like to let her know, the area I'm searching, the price range, and the bedroom. So if she sees a listing in Williamsburg, but it's 619,000, then she'll know why I didn't send it to her, because my name is 5 to 600. So she knows my criteria is that price, not over 600. Or if it was at 499, she said, well, why didn't you send me that listing? Well, I'm searching 500 to 600,000. You didn't say 499 to 600,000. So that's what I like to do there. So it's kind of obvious what I'm doing. And plus, if she's looking for condos or land or something else, I can have one search for this, one search called land, one search for condos, and that would help too. Here's her welcome message. The very first thing she gets is a welcome to your portal message here. You can change this if you like. So if I don't like the message here that's given to me, I can say, please make sure you save, reject, and leave notes on listings. Okay, just a little message there. And if I like this message that I wrote better than the one that's given to me, then right down here, that little wheel, I can set this message as my default welcome message. Okay, and then all my contacts will always get this as their welcome message. And then I can go in here and reset it back to the default if I change my mind. Make sure your signature is edited to here. I think this does not look good, just my name. I think it should be something like sincerely Keith Hensley, CoreLogic, my title, my address, my phone numbers, my email address, things like that. So you might want to edit it too if you haven't done that already. But that's the welcome message. Now, once you've seen this welcome message, there's a recurring message. This recurring message can be modified too. And it basically just says, hey, we got a new listing or an updated listing, go check it out. And you can also come in here, remember to save, reject, and leave notes on listings. Okay. When they get this, they'll actually see a little thumbnail view of each property that was sent to them that was new. So they'll actually see a little preview of it here, but they'll also have a link that takes them to the portal. And then down here is the same thing. I can set this as my default recurring message out there, okay? And then all my contacts will start getting this one instead of what I typed or what is given to me. Here's the search criteria that I'm saving. I could send it to her ASAP, daily, monthly, or I can enable it. And here, I'm saying yes, show this contact and reverse prospecting results. I couldn't take that out, but like I said, I like this one here. I like to leave it in the reverse prospecting results, and I'm going to show it to you here in a minute. So that just helps the other listing agents see. Now remember, they don't see Janelle's name or phone number or anything, but they see that I have a contact that was sent their listing, so they could reach out to me and we could discuss it, because in the end, we're all trying to sell properties here. So I really like leaving this one on. And then once I'm done, I just hit save. Okay. Now, Janelle just got sent an email called Williamsburg, 500 to 600,000. I'll show you that in a second. But two places you find it. If you remember my three tabs, home, search, my matrix. Search is where you do things. So I just went to search and I did a search and I saved it as an auto email. But I find it under my matrix. Under my matrix, there's two places I can find it. I can find it under contacts and under Janelle's name. And there's her auto emails. Remember, one was a concierge and one was ASAP. Okay, so that's where I find her searches, but I can also find it under auto emails too. Okay, there's Janelle's search with 75, and there's her Williamsburg one. Okay, if you don't mind, I'm just going to go ahead and delete that first one called concierge. I just did that to kind of show you the concierge mode. So there's, oh, I just disabled it. Let me delete it. There we go. Okay. So here's the color codes. As soon as you save it, it sends her a welcome message, and it says it's white. That means she has not opened it yet. Okay, white means not open. Green means she has opened it or will turn green. She's got 30 days to open it. Once she does open it, it turns green, and now she gets 80 days to have it sent. Okay, now I'm not going to wait 30 days to see if she opens this or not. So in a few days, if she still hasn't opened it, I might give Janelle a call and say, Janelle, you haven't opened it yet. Do you need me to resend it to you? Yes or no? So I could resend it to her. And Janelle, you did check your spam folder, right? Because these emails go to your spam once in a while too. So I could resend it, have her check her spam folder. But once she does click it, now it turns green. Now she gets the recurring emails every time it finds a new match. And as long as she looks at it one time within 80 days, we give her 80 more days, and then 80 more days. So the more she looks at it, the longer it keeps staying on. Okay. So as you can see, right now she's never looked at it. Steve and Rosa, they got 3 of them here, and the last time they looked at it was April 14th. So it's almost been a month now. It's coming up on a month here, about 3.5 weeks or so. But if they look at it again, then that'll get extended for 80 more days. So that's what that means. Okay. Now Tom and Liz, theirs has been disabled. Now there's 3 different options for disable. One, when I send it to Tom and Liz or any of the contacts, they can always unsubscribe. If they unsubscribe, then we turn it off, and we'll email you also letting you know that Tom and Liz unsubscribed, so that way you know, and we turn it off for you. The second way is, remember they got 30 days to open this, or 80 days after they've opened it to look at it. Well, when it gets close to either the 30 days here or the 80 days here, we'll send you a reminder saying we're about to turn this off due to inactivity because they haven't opened it yet. And then on that 30th or 80th day, we will shut it off. And then it'll say disabled due to inactivity. Now the third way, as you can see right here, I can turn it off. So let's say Tom and Liz bought a house. Well, if they bought a house, I don't think I want to keep sending them new matches, do I? Because now they bought a house, so I need to stop it. So there's a couple ways, 3 ways I could stop this. One, I could check mark it and delete it, then it's gone. Okay. I could disable it. Now that's what I've done here. Personally, I think a disable should be like a temporary stop. So let's say if Tom and Liz were actively looking at a house, but then something happened, you know, they're in the hospital or they're lost a job or something, it's not a good time to look for properties, which in this current state with the pandemic going on, this might be a good reason to stop them, just because, you know, maybe they have lost a job, maybe there's a lot of uncertainty right now, so you might need to just disable it. So that way it's still here, it's still in the auto email, so when things pick back up, I can very easily click on it, go to settings. See, I disabled it. So I can come down here and I can enable it again when things are back to normal, okay? So that's what I like to do, is disable, only a temporary stop. But I can, I mean, it would be permanently stopped until I start it up again. I don't like deleting them, but let me show you the third option. It's an auto email. Remember, it's very similar to the save search, but the save search are not going out. So what I could do, if they bought a house, but I don't want to keep it in my auto emails anymore, but I don't want to delete it either, because I like to keep it for future reference, just in case I might need it again someday. I don't know why, but just in case. So what I could do is what I could do is click on it, go to settings, and turn this auto email into a saved search. Turn it from an active search to an inactive search. So now it's not filling up my auto emails anymore. So then I could click on it, go to the search name, and I'll just call it the same thing, Williamsburg. Maybe I'll just say Williamsburg search here. I think I have to give it a different number here. It's still for Tom and Liz, but it's no longer going to be active. So I save it, and it's not in my auto emails anymore. Well, it's under saved searches now. So that way I still have it, just in case Tom and Liz, or let's say someone else in the future wants me to do a search for them. I say, you know what, that's the same search I did for Tom and Liz back in the day. So I could just use this one for my new client without recreating it again. And it's also under My Matrix Contacts. My Matrix Contacts, now when I click on Tom and Liz, it's a saved search right here. Okay, so I didn't lose it. It's just not cluttering up my auto emails anymore. So I hope that makes sense there. Okay, so looking at Janelle's, let's go to auto emails. Remember, I sent that one to Janelle. Let's see what she gets. Well, here's the emails. Okay, and I got a lot of junk in here, so just bear with me. But there's the email Janelle just got from her favorite realtor, Keith. Okay, so she clicks on it. Right here in the title, she should know that's what I'm looking for. Listings in Williamsburg between 500 and 600. That's why I named it that way. So when she looks at this, here's a little welcome. Please make sure you save reject listings. And what she has to do to activate it, she has to click that within 30 days. Okay. So when she clicks that, that white circle is now changed to green. Okay. Here's those 7 listings that were found. I will say that when she first comes here, she'll be looking at this view here. She'll be looking at her banner, or my banner up here, and hopefully you've already created a banner. Okay. I think we have a webinar on that. If not, we will have one. Make sure you have your banner set up. So she's seeing the 7 listings with the map over here. She can change this to a list view and look at them this way. She can go to a gallery view and look at it this way. I personally like the gallery view. Okay. She chooses, she picks the one that she likes, and whatever she leaves it on is the one she'll always see it in. There's even 3 dots here where she can come over here and choose some options here. She can even do her own searches right here. She can go in here and type in her own search. She can do her own search for residential in Williamsburg between 500,000 or more, and she can apply it. So she can do her own search, and then she could save her own search. She could say, call it Janelle's search. So she can save it. Now, if she saves it, I can see it. Okay, if she doesn't save it, I can't see it. But then hopefully she'll also go through and open up listings. Hopefully she can scroll through and look at all the pictures of the house. Hopefully she will tag listings and say that's her favorite, or she'll say as a possibility or discard it. Hopefully she'll leave me notes. Love this house. Okay, maybe a little better note than that, but hopefully she'll say why she loved that house. But she left me a note. I will show you how to set this up or see it. Let's go back to results here. Now let's go back to her search, Williamsburg. Okay, there's that search. Here's the one that she just saved just now. Here's the one I saved for her. So here's the one with the 7 houses. So here's the search that I saved for her. Now, if this house on Counselor's Way, if this one sells, comes off the market, it disappears. Okay, she'll come in here one day and she'll say, Keith, what happened to Counselor's Way? I like this house. Well, something must have happened. If you would have saved it, Janelle, as a favorite or a possibility, then when it sells, it would stayed on here. But since you didn't save it, I have to go and look it up now and tell you what happened. So that's why I wanted you to save properties that you like, because they stay in here even after they leave your criteria that you have. Okay. Now she'll say, yeah, but look at this one on Windmere. I don't like this one. Why is it still on my list here? Because these listings will always stay here as long as they currently meet her criteria. Well, Janelle, if you don't like it anymore, go to that heart and discard it. And then when you come back there, Windmere is no longer in this list because you have discarded it. Now, if it ever comes back on the market again and stuff, yeah, then she'll see it. But in the meantime, she said she didn't like it anymore. Now it's still in her favorites here. She can see that one discarded on Woodmere. I'm sorry, Woodmere. Okay, she can see the one possibility. She can see her favorites here. So it's a little being sorted out in different categories. So that's very important that your clients do that if they can. They'll help you out and it'll help them out. So they can see all their searches here, whether they saved it or I saved it. I could have 3 or 4 searches for her, and she could look at them all and keep them separated. Favorites, I just showed you. Messages. Under messages, here's the one email I sent her. So under messages, we keep every single email I've ever sent her right here. So she can always go back at any time and look at it. And then under notes, this is how she sees notes that I've either left or she has, me in this case of Janelle. Otherwise, she would see my note, and I'm going to reply to it here in a moment. And there's another tab here called My Agents. So under My Agent, I can have more information here to put here, okay? And I think you're going to want to. So let me kind of show you where you set all this stuff up here, especially My Agent and a banner. Let me show you that real quick. It's in My Matrix, or it's in Matrix under My Matrix, under Center My Information. When you come in here, make sure you got your information filled in. Here's your header and footer. So if you don't like this banner, go in here and pick a different banner. Change it as often as you want. Okay. You can even have no photo, or you could upload one. Now here I want to put my company name. I can put my company name there, but not there. Oh, that's weird. Okay. Yeah. Hopefully that's just a problem for me, but hopefully you got something in there. In fact, let me go back to information here. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to say, put tagline in here. I'm going to say my email, I have a phone number. I'm going to put national trainer here. Take this out. Okay. And save it there. Okay. Now let's go to head on footer. Yeah, I still can't do that one. Look, I can't even change that there. Okay, that's weird. Okay. Okay, so make sure you have that set up. CMA cover sheet, you can fill in your email signature. This is the one I said make sure you put some more stuff in here. And here's your portal profile. This is where your clients can see some more information on you. So what I would do is a greeting and type in, you are my favorite client. Now, I don't know if I'd say that, but it's something like that. I just want to show you. It's not turned on until I put a check mark there. Okay, now it's turned on. I could do a YouTube video in here, contact information. I could go in here and add more contact information. Now here I can do that. That's weird. Okay, I can do phone numbers and stuff. Let me take this. I guess I can't take that one out. And I can even do my photo. Now I don't put my photo here because they're seeing my photo here, but you could. So let me save this here. Well, I did. Okay, so now when I go back, now when Janelle clicks on this, now she sees a greeting, she sees my contact information. If I had a YouTube video in here, she would see that too. And plus there's a help video or help message with the video right in here too. So Janelle can see that there. So that is the portal for your clients. Hopefully you knew about this, and hopefully I explained some more information if you don't know anything about it here. But now, okay, they left me a note. Remember under messages, she left me a note saying, I love this house. Well, there's 3 ways I can see this note. As soon as I log in, right here on my homepage, there, and it might be down here somewhere. You might have this box. I'm not sure where it's at on your page, but I moved it up to the top, and it's called Recent Portal Visitors. So I can see Janelle logged in at 2:48. She saved three listings. She left me a note, and I can preview her portal. See that right there? I can preview her portal. So if I click on that notes, it's on that listing right there on Jamestown Road. I can open it up. She said, love this house. Now this is where I can go in, then make an offer. Okay. So now we're communicating. Now, I don't think this is the best way to communicate with your clients, just because they don't get an email. Now, this is how Janelle will see it. She sees a little bullet right there. So when she clicks on it, she can then see the note and make an offer. Okay. So I would probably, in that case, reach out to her, but I can leave a note. I can leave notes such as showed on 5/1. Maybe I should have come over, or 5/2 over the weekend. The kitchen was awesome. And I just put in their notes, but nothing else. At least she can see when I showed it to her. So I like doing that. So if she ever goes back to her listing, she can see when I showed it to her. Okay. Now that's one way. Second way, I can go to contacts and I can look over here and see all the notes, favorites, possibilities. Okay, that's the second way I can do it. And I can see that she just visited at 2:48. The third way is I can get a text message ASAP when she left me a note. Don't know if you know this or not. So what I would encourage all of you to do, if you work with buyers, go to My Matrix and go to Settings. Under Settings, I would encourage you to go to Portal Notification Settings right here. When I go to Portal Notification Settings, I encourage you to do all of these here. Notify me via a daily summary. The daily summary would give you one email every day and let you know who is doing what on your portal. Okay, that one's great. I think everyone should do that. But the ASAP, a text or an email, I'd be a little more cautious on this. I don't think you need a text or an email every time they visit the portal. One person could visit it 10 times in a day and you'd be getting 10 different text messages or emails. Maybe the favorites or possibilities, but I definitely like it with the notes. Text message me ASAP. In fact, I've already got a text message earlier when that happened. I just had it silence on my phone. Okay, so I like that. I like saving a search. I like to be emailed or text message. And if they visit the portal, but just that first time, let me know that they do. Okay, so those are the text messages I like. If they mobile phone number, now if you want a text message, you're not able to click in here. You have to click this right here. You have to click this. Now you can type in your phone number. Type in your 9-digit phone number, area code first, no spaces, no dashes, no periods, straight number, and then your cellular provider. And I have Verizon. Then once you've got those two there, you need to say, send me a verification code. And now we'll send you a text message to that cell phone number within a minute. So within a minute, I'm going to turn on my phone here, turn it off silent. There we go. And you should be hearing the text message any moment. That text message is going to have a four-digit code. Right there it is. And that 4-digit code is 3177. Once I type that in, if it's correct, it'll take it. And it is. It took it. And as long as all these settings are good, I'm going to hit save over here. And now I just locked it down. So please do that if you've never done that. You want to make sure you do not miss any of your messages or what's happening on your client's portal. Okay? Portal notification. Okay. Now also, let me show you carts here. I know we're right at our time limit here, but let me show you carts. Every time I'm going to run Janelle's auto emails. Okay, that's her auto email. I'm going to go to results. Remember, there's 7. Let's say she came back to me and said, Keith, this house and this house and that house, the 3 that I saved here, can we go look at those tonight? Sure, let's go look at them. So first I emailed to her, and it tells me that I emailed it to her. Then she wants me to show her properties. So as I show her properties, I check mark those listings. I come down here, I go to carts, and I don't have a cart for Janelle. So I'm going to create a brand new cart for Janelle, and it's for her. And I'm going to call this houses shown. So I want to keep a track of every house I've ever shown her. So this is for me only, okay? The cart is for me. The portal is for Janelle. So if I want Janelle to see it, I just simply email her listings, and they go to her portal. If I want to keep track of what I've shown her or whatever reason, I create a cart, and I put those listings in there. So now those 3 listings have been added to Janelle's houses shown cart. So now I can keep tabs on them. Okay. So then I can always find that cart by going to her contacts and going to her carts, and I can see those 3 listings. But I can also see them up here too. So right there they are. I can also go to my matrix, my carts, and I can see houses shown 3 for Janelle. Okay. But on my home page, I also have a carts right here too that has Janelle with 3 properties. So when I get back that night from showing her those 3 houses, now I can come in here and put notes here. I can say, okay, well, this one I shown on 5/4/20 and didn't like the small bedrooms. Okay. Now I know she said it as a favorite, but maybe that's before she looked at it, so I can add that notes. Then I can go to the next house, and this one was, shown, still shown. If I can spell, shown on 5, and maybe that's all I do, just say it's shown on 5/20. Maybe I don't add a note, because she can add notes on her side. Okay. So here, I got all the notes out here that I've liked here, so I can keep track of it. So months from now, she can come back, say, Keith, did I ever see this house? Did I ever see that house? Well, I just go to carts, go to her houses shown cart, and I look at it. Say, yes, I showed it to you on the 4th of May, and that was your idea of it. Oh, okay, thanks. Now, when I come back several months from now, these listings may be sold or expired or pending or whatever. It's going to show its current status. And even if it's sold or expired, I'm going to still keep it here no matter what. Now, I can check a listing, go to carts, and I could actually remove that listing from her house as shown carts, but I don't like deleting them because I want to keep a track of every property, no matter what status it is. And just to let you know, I can print this list out too. I can select them all, go to print, and print this out, and I can even print the notes out too. And when I go and print the notes out, it's even going to have the heart and all this information here. So they're going to see everything that I've shown her. Okay. And I know we're at time, but one more thing I like to do. I'll show you. Well, let's say Janelle's also trying to sell her house. Okay. So I've done a CMA for her. I've went and done a search, not just active listings, but pending and sold properties too. I'm trying to do a CMA for her. So when I go out here and I do a search for her, and I find properties just like hers, and let's say she's got a 3-bedroom house, let's say it's detached house. I'm trying to get this number kind of lower here. And her house was, let me see what this does, colonial. Let's just say hers is a colonial. What you could do here is, well, let me go back. I want to take that out because I do want some more listings here. So let's say I'm doing a CMA for her and I picked some active, some solds, and some closed. What you could do is pick her competition, the active ones or the pending ones. So you could pick as many active or pending ones you want and add it to her cart. And the reason why you're going to do this, you want to keep a track of her competition. You want to know what's happening to her competition. Her house is competing against these other active listings or pending listings. So you could pick them, go to carts. Now you've got this house as shown cart for Janelle, but you want to add a new cart for her. And this is going to be called her competition, or just call it competition. Way competition. And it's going to be for Janelle. And save it. So now I got 6 houses in her competition here. So weeks go by, days go by, or whatever. I can always go and look at her competition, see what's happening. Her house, no bites on it whatsoever. No one wanting to see it, no one making offers, things like that. So I could add it here, and I can say, well, Janelle, this house now on Jamestown Road is now pending. So they're getting hits. People are looking at these houses. Why aren't they liking your house? Well, one, it might be overpriced. 2, it might just be in bad shape. It might need some cleaning up and stuff like that. So I'm keeping an eye on her competition. And as these houses sell and stuff like that, then I can say, well, look, your competition is moving, but yours isn't. So we need to do something. Might be time for a price change there. So that's what I like on the carts. So when I come in here and pick Janelle's, she's got 2 carts now. One that I've been keeping track of all the houses she's been showing, or I've been showing her, but I can also keep track of her competition too. So really like carts. Okay, we went several minutes over, but everyone's been quiet, so hopefully that's good. Hopefully you guys are liking this here. Like I said, I will email everyone a link to the recording if you need it. But any other questions before we end this one? Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it, and I'm glad you liked it. Okay. And yes, especially as a new agent, I think hopefully this really helps you too. Okay. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Deborah. You're welcome. Anytime. Look forward to other webinars this week, you guys. I can't think of the topics offhand right now, but I'll be on the lookout for them. And if you do have questions, reply to my email when you get a link to the recording today, and let me know if I can help you. Okay, well, thanks everyone. I hope you guys have a great day, and I hope your week's starting off on the right foot. Okay, take care.